All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, man. And Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, who are all the people scattered around the world that are going to be Israelites that believe in one specific doctrine, regardless of what external camp or anything like that they call themselves. They're all going to believe in a one doctrine, man. And some of them are believing in that same doctrine right now, secretly, right? And they're scared to admit that they believe it because they're scared of the eyes of like men or whatever. But they're gonna be beamed up in them chariots also, man, right? And this is gonna be a video on how the nation of Israel's wound is incurable, like the scriptures say. And I'm gonna read it, Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. And what that's going into is how the nation of Israel on this earth right now is destroyed. It's in a destroyed state, man. Right? They've fallen, we've fallen so vast that there is not no earthly mechanism right now that can really get us out of this situation. And we're so far behind in an earthly sense that a miracle is required for us to escape out of this scenario, right? And you have to, as an Israelite, understand this, right? All you so-called black men out there that you think you're going to escape a certain way because you, as an individual, own a few properties. You think that you owning a few properties as an individual is going to stop another nation that had your ancestors in slavery for centuries, right? That own all the rules and make all the rules and regulations that you had to go through to get those properties or to get that lifestyle that you have. You think that you as an individual or 100 of your friends, let's say you've got a group of 100 men or even 1,000 men that also have a similar lifestyle to you, you actually believe that that's going to make you escape the whole nation and the whole globe system that they have against you, that they can use that global system to extract your wealth if they decided to aim their global system that they've made at you. Now, this isn't being said to make you not care about having anything for yourself in this life, but it's being said to make you realize that the wound is incurable. There's no earthly way that you can get out of the situation that you're in. You have to believe in the Lord. Now, if you don't want to, that's up to you. That's your choice, man. You can think it's your choice anyway. Really, you don't believe because the Lord denied you already, right? And He hasn't made you have faith. He's blinded you. So you're running around thinking that you're going to escape things through some earthly methods, and it's just not going to work, right? I know it's sad. It might hurt your feelings. It's the earthly methods that you think are going to escape you out of this situation are not going to work, man. They're not going to, right? It's not going to work, fam. Your properties, your stocks, your cryptocurrency. No one's saying don't do these things. Your job, if you get offered a promotion at your job, or if you decide to go and get a different job, right? It's all of these things are being done for the same reason, for some money. The reason why somebody goes to work and does a job is for money. The reason why somebody might gamble is for money. The reason why somebody might buy a stock or buy a cryptocurrency is for money. It's all the same reason why, right? But Esau controls all of that. The reason why somebody's going to decide to go and get a promotion is for more money. The reason why somebody's going to try and gamble is for more money. Now, the work of your own hands way is the most honest and clear way that you can guarantee that you're going to win. But Esau can change even that. The plan is to make people's wages be something that's inflationary, right? Because they're planning on making, well, in some countries already, people get paid with cryptocurrency, which is an ever-changing thing now. They trying to say, oh, the stable coins and the blah, 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 whatever they want to try and come with. But doesn't the value of the US dollar or the British pound change from day to day? Right? Didn't a chocolate bar, for example, used to cost less in the past and was bigger, and now it costs more and is smaller in size? Don't they change the amount of chips that might be in a bag? Don't they change the size of a chicken and chips that you might buy or whatever, or chicken and rice, a pizza box size or whatever food you eat, a yogurt pot, anything, the size of them shrink but the price of them somehow goes up because the value of the money is worse, man. When you buy a house from that mortgage that all you people get gassed up over, by the time you finish paying that house, you could have bought that house 3 times. And then you people will say to try and justify it and make it like the system's not corrupt. Oh, but what else you gonna do? And you'll feel comfort in it because everyone did that. And that's why you people didn't think that you was a stupid idiot during the lockdown, wearing a mask on your face, even in your house. Some of you clowns, you didn't feel stupid doing that because everybody else was doing it. But right now, if you people see that some people are still wearing those masks on their face, even though you in the past when everyone was doing it was wearing a mask on your face, you're trying to look at that person now like, oh, they're an idiot. Why are you still doing that for? But in the past when everyone was doing it, you didn't have a problem saying it then because everyone was doing it. So you're just a sheep. You're just a zombie, right? That thinks that they've got something going on. You think you're a rebel because, oh, you might speed and you might drive fast on the motorway, but if you're not the rebel that you think you are, you talk and say nobody can't tell me what to do. I can do what I want to do. No, when the chance came that you could really stand on business and prove that that's the kind of person you are, you didn't do it, did you? You did what you was told, right? And you were saying in your mind, if I have to take one of these things, then I'm gonna take it to keep my job. And some of y'all took it. So don't try and act like you're no rebel. Don't try and act like you're no tough guy. Don't try and act like you can do whatever you want to do, because when you had the chance to prove that that's what you really think like, you didn't do that. Don't try and talk about and call people dusty and call people bums, right? Because you would have in that time, if there was been saying to you, take a micro C hip in your body in order to be able to go on holiday or keep your job, you would have did it too. So don't act like you're tough. Don't act like you're bad, because you're not. Yeah, simple as that. You people that had a chance to prove that you stand for something, you didn't do it, did you? But now that everything's over, or you think it is, you run in your mouth. But wait till the worst thing comes. Then we're going to see how tough some of you guys are. And some of you people are going to still take the micro C hip, the marker, the BAST, because the beast, right? You're going to take it because you're going to see loads of other people doing it. And you're going to, and you're going to be doing it to try and save your money that you've been accumulating over the years. Now, let's get back to this scripture. Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. Yahweh really put them curses on us, man. In America, Babylon the Great, all of those curses were fulfilled on us, man. I would go so far as to say all of them was implemented all at once in America. In other different times, you could say, oh, some of them happened and some of them didn't, because Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68 didn't happen in all generations that we lived in as Israelites. But in Babylon the Great, man, all of them were put on us, man. All of them were stacked on top of it, man. Just continual. From generation to generation, a proverb and a byword. The things that so-called black people, Native Americans and Latinos got called in that time, who were the children of Israel, kept ever changing, to the point where they don't know whether they're coming or going these days. They don't know nothing about who they are. They don't, even though they've heard that they're Israelites. And they'll be quick to boast about some black power, black people are the best people in the world. When they hear that they're the Israelites, who are in fact the best people in the world, they don't want to believe it because they're lost. They're bugged out. But if you tell them they're black, they'll be like, yeah, big up black people, them, and all that BS. But if you tell them that they're Israelites now, we're not. But then if you say to them, black people don't know their history, they've had their history stolen, they'll be like, yeah, we have. But then if you say, yeah, and in the Bible it says that the Israelites would have their history stolen, Jeremiah 17 and 4, they'll be like, nah, I don't really rock with that. If you speak about generational trauma to these Israelites, these black people, Latinos and Native Americans who are the Israelites, they'll be like, yeah, we got generational trauma. Yeah, we've got generational trauma going back through since the Atlantic slave trade. But if you say, yeah, we got generational Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, and then we go to it, right? If you say Deuteronomy 28 verse 68 to these jakes, then they'll be like, oh, nah. We ain't Jews. So you're trying to say we're cursed, but they'll accept generational trauma though. They'll accept that we got generational trauma from the society that we live in, but they won't accept that we got curses from the Heavenly Father that go through generation to generation. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are commanded this day. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. And all of you flipping, what's it called, man? You Latinos, right? Y'all didn't want to be, y'all in a large grouping, don't want to believe that you're the Israelites like how so-called black people are believing. There's not as much numbers of y'all believing, man. Like Ephraim that's mentioned in the scriptures, the north, which he represents the northern kingdom. Y'all ain't really trying to believe it, but what happened with all this ICE stuff? They're running you out of the country, hemming y'all up, even when you're actually a citizen of America, born there. They don't care. Why is it that you're the face of immigration? Why is it that you're the face of being an illegal immigrant? As if they ain't whole countries, whole states in America that speak the language that you were born speaking. As if the national language in several places in America isn't Spanish, which is a language that you grew up speaking. As if the majority of some of the people in several cities in America are not your face. Yet they're trying to make you the face of immigration. But a Chinese man will come illegally immigrate there and be like, and set up a Chinatown. They're even gonna notice. They'll come through to his shop little. Yeah, we got a Kung Pao chicken, chow mein with sweet and sour sauce, and some spicy egg rolls, and the fortune cookies, or what, 2 cup of fortune cookies, and they'll crack open the fortune cookie, read it, and keep it moving. They ain't gonna slap and talk about no illegal immigrant stuff. They ain't gonna be talking about, so we need to set up a border. But they'll set up a border for you though. Why? Because you're an Israelite. Now you cannot believe it, and you can think that wearing a sombrero is part of your culture. Nah, you're meant to be having a mitre on your head. That's really the culture of an Israelite. Now, I'm not saying that no one needs to walk around being over righteous, but that's more according to the custom of what we're supposed to be. In the Bible, for all you Mexicans out there, in the Bible, the tribe of Issachar, right? Issachar means he is hired. What is the stereotype of you Mexicans, man? And what would you Mexicans say is like the logo of Mexico, like the animal logo of Mexico? Would it not be the donkey? Does burrito not mean something along the lines of little donkey or something like that, or donkey? A bureau, does that not mean donkey or something like that? And yet it's funny that there's a tribe that literally has the logo of a donkey. The Issachar has the logo of a donkey, and it means he is hired. Is that not a stereotype of you Mexicans? But y'all ain't going to connect the dots until Easter starts going upside your head even more. Y'all are going to want to just still believe that because you are going to make it out. You're going to get a green card, and Esau is just going to change his ways. No, he don't like you. Y'all fought for a long... You think because he put you on the census and made you be able to say that you're an Edomite, that means that he likes you? No. He likes you when the so-called black tribes are in the room, and the moment we leave, he wants y'all flied off across the border, man. Yeah? The moment y'all do a crime, y'all become Mexican real quick. On the stats, you're white. But the moment you commit a crime, or the moment he sees you in real life, outside of the stats, you're not white. But y'all want to try and play games and think that you're equal. And tried to throw the Southern Kingdom under the bus, the so-called black tribes, tried to throw us under the bus, right? But then the moment y'all started getting thrown out the country, now you want to try and cry for the so-called black people to help. Oh, black and brown need to stick together. Well, fuck you for a bit until you realize that you're actually Israelites. Fuck you. If you're trying to try and get some mercy from so-called black people by believing that you're a Mexican, nah. You're gonna have to join on to so-called black people, and so-called black people gonna have to join on to you by believing that you're who you actually are, the Israelites, and you're gonna have to accept a common nationality, a common forefather of Jacob, who is Israel, and accept that the reason why you look different is because you might have been born from Jacob and a different mother. You might have been born from Jacob and Rachel, or Jacob and Leah, or Jacob and one of the other 2 handmaids, man. But if you don't want to accept that, that's your problem, right? That's your problem, man. But I can tell you this: when them chariots come, you're gonna wish that you accepted it, man. You're gonna wish that you accepted that you was an Israelite then. I don't see how any of you people out there can hear that you're an Israelite, be struggling in the world and reject being an Israelite. As if the story of the Israelites, when you read it in the Bible, is not a story of struggle. That's all they have happening to them, struggle after struggle all the time, man. They stay struggling, but the end of it is that they end up receiving mercy. Verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Sounds like generational trauma to me. That sounds like generational trauma, but they'll say, nah, you so-called black women, right? Y'all know, you know, like I know, you're bald-headed. Some of y'all hairlines look like mine, and my hairline's fruit. I'm on a 0.1 millimeter program. Hey, I'm at a 0.1 millimeter program right now, man. 0.1. Yeah. I ain't trying to get no weeks growth out here, right? Now, when all hell breaks loose, the hairline's going to be looking, everyone's hairline that's bold, your hairline's going to be looking crazy, right? You're going to have 5 hairlines, man. But for all the brothers that are bold right now, and I guess you don't like that you can't grow hair or whatever, I recommend this, man. Buy, it's not expensive, buy like clippers that can go to 0.1 millimeters, right? 0.1 millimeter. That won't even cost you £20, won't even cost you what, $30 or whatever, and buy a three-way mirror, which is gonna be a bit, maybe twice the price of the clippers, and cut your own hair. Because why are you gonna spend money in a barbershop and give money to a barber, right? To be bold? What's the point of that? You may as well cut it yourself. You might miss a few spaces when you first start doing it, but eventually you'll learn the process and you'll be able to cut your own hair, man. And it's easily replaced. 12, like 10 to 20 pounds, man, depending on the kind of one that you get. And after a while, you throw that one away and buy a new one. Like maybe 6 months to a year, depending on how you maintain it, buy a new one, man. And your hair will be, you know what I mean? Or depending on how much hair loss you've got anyway, right? That's one advice. But for women, you can't give them that advice because women don't want to be bold. But some of you are bold, but you don't want to accept the reason why. You want to try and say, oh, that can't be the reason why us black women are bold because there's some black men that are bold. So is that because y'all did that? No. Because when I look among Edomites or look among Elam, I see them bold too. And the glory of a man is not our hair. That's not the glory of any man. Even brothers out there that have got hair, cane rolls, they got a big afro. That's not their glory. If they really felt the need, they'd cut it off. If they felt that it was completely unlawful, they'd cut it off, and they wouldn't feel like they've missed out something on themselves. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. And one of the ways how these women's secret parts are being discovered right now is through social media, man. They're baiting out everything. They're on social media confessing, which is dumb. If you want to finesse men, all you women out there, you should have not confessed it online. You shouldn't have baited out. And like you've got, if you was to see some of these women's social media, if you was to actually examine some of it, they'd have such contradictory statements on there that it would be ridiculous. They'd have one video where they're saying they're tired of men approaching them in the gym and trying to gawk at them in the gym. Then they'd have another video where men aren't approaching them in the gym. Then they'd have a problem where men are taking them out, not taking them out on dates that are expensive. Then they'd say to a man about another man, oh, don't think that just because you took me on a date that's expensive, I owe you anything. Then they'd say that the person that invites you out on a date is supposed to pay, but they'd say that they're not ever going to invite no man out on a date, and that the man should invite them out on a date. So basically what they're saying is that the man has to pay for every single thing in their life, even though they have money themselves. But then if you think about that, then what is the purpose of their money? If a job hires you and then you say to the job, yeah, you're going to hire me, but I'm not doing no work though. You're going to do all the work and I still want you to pay me. You think that's going to go down? No, it's not. If you get hired for a football team, a basketball team, and like, yeah, you're going to join the basketball team, you're going to be the 5th basketball player, right? And you're the point guard, and you're like, I'll be the point guard, but I'm not playing though. Y'all are gonna bounce. I don't want to bounce the ball. I don't want to do nothing. I can bounce the ball. I can shoot 3-pointers. I can hit a free throw. I can hit a layup. I can do an assist pass. I can catch the rebounds. I can run the court and just do a full court press, make a zone. I don't really know what none of these things mean that much, these basketball terms, but I've heard these terms from basketball games that I've played in the past or whatever. I know briefly kind of what it's talking about, but I'm just using these basketball terminology. If you could say, oh, I can do all of that, but I'm not going to, but I still want you to be on the team and you pay me, you think that's going to happen? But that's what women try and do to men. Oh, I've been paying all my bills since before I met this guy. But now when I get with this guy, now I want him to pay all the bills that I was previously paying. So now a woman might have had 10, let's say, I don't know, man, £20,000 worth of bills for the whole year, right? And then she gets with a man and don't care about how much he makes. But now she expects him to now take on her all of her £20,000 a year of bills and everything, expenses. So if the moment he meets her, she's already plumped on him 20,000 a year minimum, because she'll call that the bare minimum in her life. And you women have not understood that this is a part of your incurable wound, because that's not going to happen. You're thinking it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. You women are not going to have it to where you can just run around thinking that you can expect these things of men and they're going to go for it. They're not going to. Even the men that can afford it, they're not going to, because why do they need to? Why would they need to? Why would a man that's got all the wealth that he wants in this world, he's got a couple of houses and he can see the first dripping off you for his wealth, right? Why would he want to try and give it to you when he don't need to? He can show you the money. That don't mean you're getting any though. And that's why I find it funny when women talk about how rich or how poor a man is, or want to try and ask men questions to try and figure out how much he makes, or try and laugh about a man having money, or want to interrogate a man whether he does or don't have money, right? And I've heard Apostle Bar say that women are like, I think he said this something along the lines like women are like bloodhounds to figure out how much money a man's got, and they are, right? That's a very true statement by, and you can tell that he has experienced that trait from women to say that, man. But just because they figure out if a man does or doesn't have a lot of money anyway, that don't mean that they're getting any. So it's a woman asking a lot of men how much money they do or don't make with how things are going on now is pretty much pointless, because just whether he does or don't have any money, that don't mean you're getting any of it, to be honest with you. And because women worship money so much, it's easy for men to finesse women because they worship money, man. They worship it. And as long as you women worship money, men with money are always going to have power over you. Always. As long as women have, no matter how much money they make, are always looking at how much money a man makes, right? They're always going to be able to be controlled, man. And they don't even understand that. I'm starting to realize this, that Esau don't care whether it's men in the society that he's made, or if it's women that make the most money. He wants his cut. And if it was to get to where women had all the money compared to men and they had all the better jobs, just know that men would end up putting you women on child support, right? You would end up having to give birth to the child and get put on child support, and they'd make some new law that, oh, she unalived my baby. I didn't want it to die, but I didn't want it to be unalive, but she unalived it and didn't give me no permission. So I'm offended by that. I'm suing. Just know that would happen, you know. As long as it meant that Esau would get his cut of your money. Or she's got to put me on, I've got to put her on potential child payments that I would have had if the baby would have made it. So if the baby would have made it, he would have lived for 18 years. So now I want to try and get it for that. Esau would make up something. Or you even thinking that he's rocking with you. He don't care about you. He don't care about you. But back to this, verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, There should be stink. A lot of you women ain't smelling right, man. Your head top, your head top underneath that wig or underneath that weave, it don't smell nice, man. Your body odor don't be smelling like some of you women are become so gross that you make tweets, you make videos about how the thing don't smell right, and I'm like, what are you doing? Some of you women are so gross, you'll be in public talking about it, that you're menstrual cycle. You ain't even supposed to be outside now. Granted, in this society, it's kind of difficult for a woman to have a whole week away from being around anyone, right? But you won't even be prepared to not go to the gym for that week. Y'all will be on the gym on the leg press, right? Some of you women are so gross that you go to the gym with no underwear on, man. Some of you women are such bug outs that you damn near wear underwear to the gym. Now a man's gonna look at that, but like, you think any man's gonna take you seriously? You go into the gym, like, with your whole yoga pants all clam out up your whole ass, man. And then you got some arrogant look on your face, like you like, don't look at me, mate. You're bringing eyes to yourself, you clown. Oh, don't look at me. Only the person that I want to look at me, look at me. That's what they actually think, man. But it's because their wounds incurable, they're bugged out, man. The Israelite woman I'm talking about now, Yahawashi hit them with an incurable wound. They're gonna stay being as bugged out like this until all hell breaks loose, and they finally start realizing that they ain't who they thought they were in life. The moment that they start seeing men with crazed looks on their face running up and clamping people in their mouth, right? Just running up, bam. Then they're gonna start realizing, oh, this invisible force field that I had around me in my femininity, it actually don't exist. I'm scared. I need a strong man, and that strong man's gonna tell you kick rocks, hoe. I ain't helping you. Help yourself. You're strong and independent, right? Now's your chance to prove it. They ain't gonna want to know. And instead of a girl or rent, the average so-called black woman in particular, man, and even among the Mexican women and the Latinos and that, there's a term called a torta. I've been hearing this term among the Latino community called a torta, which is ultimately a fat woman, a fat Mexican, a fat Latina woman, a torta, right? That's a girdle. Yeah, excuse me, that's a rent, I mean, right? And instead of well set hair boldness, now we already know who that's talking about. But I've still yet to see a so-called black woman admit that this is clearly a so-called black woman problem, especially. And it's like, imagine considering how proud some of these so-called black women are now. You have a Apostle Ricard that you're always talking about, Big Shirley, she big, black and burly and that, right? Imagine how proud all of these so-called black women would be if they wasn't made fat, and if they had their own hair, all flowing and shit, and if they was pretty in the face. Imagine how proud they'd be then in this society, because they're proud without that. So imagine how proud and arrogant they'd be going if they had that body, man. Imagine if they all looked like what you picture in your mind, Judith or Sarah or Rachel or Leah, Susanna would have looked like. Imagine if she looked like who else, man? Esther. Imagine if they look in however you picture in your mind those would have looked like. Imagine if the average Israelite woman just looked like that. How proud and arrogant they'd be going on, because they're arrogant now. They'll look like Mark Henry, the WWE wrestler, and be proud. They'll look like Smoking Joe Frazier, which is okay for Smoking Joe Frazier as a man to look like Smoking Joe Frazier. It's not okay for a woman to look like Smoking Joe Frazier, though. That's not normal. They'll look like James Lights Out Tony, and they'll be going on like they look like Susanna out here. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't, fam. That's not really what it is. And they'll be talking up their mouth, talking about what they won't accept from a man, or what they will and they won't accept. And you'll be thinking to myself, like, are you serious? But that's because they've been hit with an incurable wound, and their wound's in their mind right now, man. Their mind's plagued. A lot of the women's minds are plagued when they've got spirits in their mind, like bugging them out, making them think that they can actually ask for these things, but even though they've never received it once in their life, though. The wound's incurable, man. There's no earthly way that the Israelite woman's going to be fixed from how bugged out she is right now. There's no earthly mechanism. There's not going to be no red pillar that's going to come out and say, oh, this and that. If there would have been, it would have been Thomas Sotomayor been going in on you so-called black women for time. He's got y'all down to a T. Kevin Samuel's been going in on y'all. Fresh and Fit podcast been going in on y'all. Even that demon Anton Daniels, he's been going in on y'all, man. And he be making speaking the truth concerning these women. He's a dirty ass demon scoffer concerning the Hebrew Israelites. But when it comes to these wicked ass women, he knows what he's talking about. All of these red pill men, really, they know what they're talking about concerning women because it's so open to see. But the Bible explained about women way before they ever said anything. Way before the current society that people even live in to be saying all these things about women. The Bible already spoke about that before this Babylon the Great Golden Cup society even existed. It was said all of these things about women. Yahweh knew way beforehand. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 13, therefore there is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no hidden medicine. There ain't no earthly way that you Israelites are going to find yourself not in the situation that you're in. There ain't no job that you're going to get. There ain't no cryptocurrency that you're going to buy. There ain't no stock you're going to buy. There ain't no profession you're going to work in that you're going to finally get the respect that you desire. Oh, I'm a doctor. Now they got to respect me. No, they're still going to think you're an N-word. They're still going to undermine you because you have been made low in this world. Even though they'll literally see that you're better than them, they're still not going to want to accept it. They're still going to be like, well, okay, if he's really better than me, then he'll be able to stop me from trying to deceive him and get him fired or try and do this or do that to him if he's really better than me. They won't be like, yo, I should just try and compete on an even playing field with this guy. No, they're going to try and do some underhanded thing and be like, if you're really better than me, then this underhanded thing that I'm about to try and do wouldn't be able to work then. But they're not going to come out straight forth and be like, you know what, I'm going to try and do this to you, try and stop me. Because they know if they try to do that, you would be able to stop them. So they have to crawl on their belly like the serpent, man, from the Garden of Eden. Crawl on their belly and do some sniveling weasel tactics, man. Like the sniveling dogs that they are. Verse 14, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. These nations don't care about you, man. They're kicking you out of the countries. Haven't you seen that? They're blaming all the crime in the city on you, even though the statistics that they like to mention so much don't show that. But they're trying to bring out the parts of statistics that they want to talk about. They're coming up with all this 13% stuff, pulling it out of thin air. They just say it. 13%, 13%. That's what they just got all these buzzwords that they say. Urban, 13%. Usual suspects, basketball people. Diversity is our friend. Usual suspects. Oh man, has anyone else feeling a bit fatigued? As if mate, I've got some fatigue going myself, man. I got some Edomite fatigue around here, man. The nerve of you people, man. The nerve of this world, man. It's truly sickening. And any of you people that you want to try and look at this video and say, oh, what's this guy talking about? Look at the world, man. You people are still caught up on color, right? But in this society, you people accept a man believing that he's a woman, but you still can't get past color. You can trick your eyes into believing that a man that you see is a woman, and you'll fix your mouth to call him a woman, right? But you can't fix your mouth to believe that black people are Israelites or even let us be in our delusion. But you'll let a man be in his delusion if he says that he's a woman, though, right? But when you people believe that we're delusional about us being Israelites, you don't just let us say that, though, do you? You think that's damaging, but you don't think it's damaging for large groups of men to believe that they're women. You don't think it's damaging for humans to walk around and believe that they're cats or dogs or pigs. But you think it's damaging for us to believe that we're the children of Israel. But you're in your whole Christianity doctrine that you've made, you'll say that you're spiritual Israel. What's the difference in spiritually believing that you're a nation versus physically? You're still trying to claim what that nation's supposed to receive, right? That you just don't want the real people to admit that they are. Just like how the world doesn't want a man that's handsome and rich to boast about it, right? And it doesn't want a woman that's beautiful to talk about how beautiful she is. But it would allow disabled person in a wheelchair that spam out looking like Stephen Hawking to say, I am the most attractive person in the world, man. You'll allow that? You'll allow some fat woman that's bellies over her knees to be like, I'm a queen. I'm a badass bee. I'm a bad queen. I'm a real queen. I don't need no man. I'm a queen. I'm a woman that don't need no man, and a man don't need no man. And I'm a queen. And I'm a 10. In fact, I'm 1,000 out. No, in fact, I'm a trillion out. In fact, I'm an infinity out of 10. And you'll be like, yeah, you go, baby. You are. But then when an Israelite says, I'm an Israelite, oh, no, you're not. What are you talking about? We're all Israelites. That's racist. That's segregational. You'll come up with any word that you can pull out, man. That's harmful. That's harm. That sounds a bit exclusive, don't it? You'll say anything you can say. But we're all, you're so go so far to say that we're all Israelites. But then that would mean that we're still Israelites then, don't it? Because man, this world, even that doctrine wouldn't work. Where this world tries to say we're all Israelites. Okay, we're all Israelites, yeah. Let's act like it. Let's act like it then, and see what happens, right? And I'm gonna prove what I'm saying with this. This world's got. I've heard people say before that we're all Israelites now, and we're all descendants of Abraham. Well, okay, let's say that we're all descendants of Abraham and we're all Israelites. Let's all act like we're Israelites then. Let's all act like we're Israelites and do the Israelite thing, and let's see what would happen. And you know what would happen? We, the real Israelites, would end up be brought up on high above all nations upon the earth. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I commanded this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So even if you people want to try and claim we're all Israelites at the end of the day, we're all God's children. Okay, we're all God's children. Okay, let's change the laws of the world and do the laws of God's children, the children of Israel, and see what happens. Would we all end up equal, or would Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1 be activated? Because I'm gonna just say it like this: in the kingdom of heaven, right? Deuteronomy 28 verse 1 to verse 14 is going to be activated continually, and Deuteronomy 28 verse 15 to verse 68 is going to be deactivated for the children of Israel, and it's going to become activated for the heathen. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, and all these and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and upon them that hate thee, right? And Yahweh thy power will put all these, right? All these, yeah? All of these curses upon thine enemies and upon them that hate thee, all of them. Right? Yahweh is going to remember the covenant they made with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what's going to happen. Now, you don't have to believe it. It's part of it. It's better. It's more enjoyable that you don't believe it, right? It's more if all the nations were just buffering right now, waiting for Yahawashi to come back and rule, and was just going to bow down. That would be a bit boring for Yahawashi, because Yahawashi has been waiting for thousands of years to get his revenge on how the world treated him, right? It would be a bit boring if when he got here, they just said, we've been waiting for you, my king, rule over us with a rod of iron. Nah, Yahweh wants the rebellion. Yahweh's literally, let me get this, man, because y'all people don't get it, man. Part of the blessings, I'm going to go to it, man. Part of the blessings of the children of Israel is for their enemy to come up against them one way and flee 7 ways. Yahawashi is going to get to experience this. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 7, and Yahweh shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Now, isn't Yahawashi going to experience this, man? Right, I'm not making this up. Yahawashi is going to experience his enemies coming up against him one way. 2 chapter 13, right? And verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. They all gathered up against Yahawashi in one way, but they're going to flee plenty of ways, man, once they really get to see and experience what he can do. That's going to be a heavy anticipation, man. That moment, that brief second where Yahawashi is looking at the heathen with all their might and all their armies, and they're looking at Yahawashi with all his might and his armies, and they'll see the power of him, but they still don't yet know what his first move is going to be, man. And once they see it, they're going to be like, man, it's up for us. It's over. Like, this world don't actually understand. Verse 9, and lo, as I saw, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he lifted up neither his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it were, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. They're gonna get, man. Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the great multitude which was prepared, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude there was perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was so afraid. When I saw this, I was afraid. Now, that's part of the blessings, man. That's a blessing. Like, I don't understand if you people not Yahawashi in the day of the Lord is going to begin to start experiencing the blessings, man. That's one of the blessings. I'm gonna read it again. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 7. And Yahawashi caused thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. That's what it sounds like Yahawashi is going to experience, right? In 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, they shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. That's one of the blessings. So all you people that want to talk about, oh, we're all children of Israel at the end of the day, we're all 8 sons of Abraham. All right, let's all act like it then. You keep the laws, and to the best of your ability, and we as Israelites are going to keep the laws to the best of our ability, and would Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1 be activated and make the children of Israel be the best nation above everyone else on the face of the earth? Or would it not be? Why don't we find out? Yeah, since you all people want to try and claim you're spiritual Israel, okay, how about the spirit? If everyone wants to claim that spiritual Israel, and everybody wants to claim that they're literally Israel, let's say we all tried to the best of our ability to do the things that's right in our Lord's eyes, who do you think it's going to affect and bless? Is it going to bless everyone? Or would it bless the children of Israel that are under the covenant? Why don't we find out if you feel like that's the case then? Why don't the laws of the land be made? Why don't all you 2 billions of Christians that believe you're spiritual Israel, why don't you get to work using your power that you have and the influence that you have over the world to make the laws of the land be changed to keeping the laws of the Heavenly Father that are written in the Bible? No pork, no shellfish, no shape-ups. Men have beards. Women wear modest apparel. Women wear dresses. You know what I mean? Women wear their clothes. Men wear the clothes that men are supposed to wear. And let's see what happens. You wouldn't do it because you know what it is already. You wouldn't do it, man. You already all know this ain't for you. Leviticus 26 and verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity, we did wrong, Yahweh. We did wickedness, man. We went off, we're going off, we're sinning and still sinning. And we understand that that's the reason why you cursed us. And the iniquity of their fathers, our forefathers did the same things too. They've been going off, right? With their trespass, they have trespassed against me. We went off. We went off against the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. We sinned and we did wickedness in every single nation that we've ever scattered. We did wickedness there. We did wickedness to get scattered into the nations, and we did wickedness when we got there, right? And that they also have walked contrary unto me. We didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We didn't do it, Lord. And even though we're still in Babylon the Great and all these other different places that we're scattered, we're still in keeping all of them. And that they also have walked contrary unto, and that I have also walked contrary unto them, because we didn't do those things. We know and we understand, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi, that you put the curses on us and made us in these wicked situations that we're in, to where we're low and we're mocked by the heathen, that we're better than really, right? And have brought them into the land of their enemies. The reason why I'm in England, and why another Israelites in England, and why another Israelites in Scotland, and why another Israelites in Wales, and why another Israelites in Ireland, and why another Israelites in Mexico, and why another Israelites in Dominican Republic, Colombia, America, which is Babylon the Great. The reason why we're all in all these different places scattered, and why we don't have no official country headquarters and an official land, is because we went off. This is the confession, man. And have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they accept the punishment of their iniquity. We understand that the reason why he did this to us is because we was doing wickedness, right? We understand it. And we're waiting for the day that you remove it off of us, right? Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and we'll remember the land, and we're gonna be sent back to that place. The grief, the wounds incurable, man. There ain't no earthly means to get out of this. It's gonna be by a spiritual and heavenly way that we're gonna come out from this situation. It's not gonna be by no job or no. The black woman and the black man ain't gonna just be like, you know what, baby, I miss you, girl. Let's start back building families. That's not gonna help it either. Now that would be better off than not being the case, but that's not gonna help it. You're too far behind. One of the elders made a statement concerning this situation of the children of Israel right now, saying we're in the worst case scenario. Yeah, it's the worst case scenario. So far behind, right? A miracle can only, like, imagine somebody was running a marathon, and you was like just bound up for like 20, and they've already ran 25 miles ahead of you. How are you gonna win now if you remove out of them chains without miracles taking place, without them breaking their leg or something like that and having to walk the rest of the way or something like that, or them slipping or some kind of crazy thing, or your speed just activating out of nowhere for you to just be able to run faster? Or a 100-meter race, you're bound up, unable to move, while everybody else has ran 99 meters and they've only got 1 meter left. How are you gonna win? Oh, you're free. Oh, you think you're free now. You think you figured out the game now. Or you understand, oh, I should vote for this person. These people I vote for has never helped me. I understand in ways to get money now in this society. You need to do multiple streams of income. You think you know, right? You're too far behind already. They're already so far ahead of you. It don't matter. But you all think, a lot of you Jakes think that accepting this makes you weaker. No, accepting it gives you power. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Because then you're going to put your time and effort into the things that matter more, which is believing in Yahawashi. So that when this society starts to lose access to those things for you, you are not as weakened by it, man. That's the truth. Now let me go back to Jeremiah 30 again. Because the wound's incurable, man. We need the Lord. Now, again, having things in this world don't mean, you're not supposed to have nothing. But this world ain't it, man. Verse 14, anyway. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with a wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased, because we did wickedness, man. Now, some of you Israelites out there, you want to still believe you're black and you don't want to accept that you did that. But in the moment we start talking about what the so-called white man does, the Edomite man, you'll say, but black people have did things too. So are you confessing the wickedness then? So that's you confessing the wickedness then, right? But you don't want to accept that the wickedness that we do could have caused us to be cursed. But you'll speak about generational trauma, though, won't you? Verse 15. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. The sorrow that you're feeling in these societies is not going to ever be less. It's only going to keep ever being more, because you're so far behind, man. This man's trying to make a technological worldwide system where you have to bow. He had you in captivity for too long, man, and was able to get too far ahead. Now they're still whack as hell. These Edomites are still dry as hell, and in a one-on-one level, you might do better than an Edomite. But in a nation versus nation level, right now, we as the children of Israel are behind. We're the least of all. Now, in a one-on-one level, again, you'll have some Israelites that are better than some heathens or better than many heathens. But in a nation versus nation level, that don't mean nothing, because there'll be one of that person that's like that as an Israelite. But then among another nation, there'll be 1,000 of them that's like that. And another 5,000 that's just a bit of a lower level behind that. And another 10,000 that's lower than that. And another 100,000 that's the next lower tier. But among the children of Israel, there might be 1, 5, 10, 100, 1,000, 1,500. And that's only totals about 10. And then even what they're able to do with their wealth is not comparable to what another nation's able to do. So you as an Israelite in this society don't get a seat at the table to talk about what direction the world should flow. The world ain't asking our permission of whether we want a globalized, technological, cashless system. They ain't asking us. They're like, you're going to be in it, whether you like it or not. And in fact, I'd rather you not be there. The world didn't ask our permission on what we thought of the Georgia Guidestones. The world didn't ask us on whether we were down for this C-19 to go on. We didn't get a seat at the table. They brought a few Israelite sellouts to try and get people to take it. But they didn't care about what we, as our nation of so-called black people, Latinos and Native Americans, thought about it in general. They didn't care. They did not care. Verse 15, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. But here's the other side of that, man. Verse 16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. So all these nations that put their filthy hands on us, man, watch. All these people that laughed about what we was going through, just wait, man. Just wait till the sand timer turns around, man. And now it's the other people's time to have a chance and see you in a position of poverty. Wait till it's the Israelites' chance to see them in poverty. And all you people that want to cry about it and make it a black or white thing, no, it's the children of Israel versus the heathen thing. And if you can't accept that, then that's you that's racist, yeah? If you can't accept that it's not about skin color, it's about what nationality you are, then you're racist and you're still so hung up on color. Because what decides whether you're children of Israel or not? You tell me, right? Are you a children of Israel? If so-called black people are really the children of Israel, then guess what, dummy? They're not black people, are they? But it would still be a racial thing based on nationality. Because some of these people that you like to still call black, some of their descendants would be looking like other people. Because lineage, according to the Bible, is through the father only. Back to verse 16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Right? That's what's going to happen, man. They're going to end up in a situation where the people that they was messing around with are now over them, and that's going to be terrifying, man. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, right? And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were. I can't think of nothing scarier than that. Somebody that you've been brutalizing, talking crap about for so long, and then they end up over you. That's terrifying, man. You thought you had them locked off and was just going to roll over them forever, and then they end up finding a position over you. That's terrifying. That's terrifying, man. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. This is what you're supposed to be hoping for. Because the wound's incurable. I've considered and thought about it, man. Like, how much money do all you Jakes out there, all you so-called black men out there, especially y'all, man, how much money do you think it's going to take for you to feel like you're free? Would you feel like you're really free if you had $1 million? Because what's that going to really get you? $1 million. Okay, it's not $1 million. 10? Okay, not 10. 50? Okay, not 50. 100? Okay, not 100. 200? Okay, not 200. Half 500 million? Okay, not 500. $1 billion? Like, how much do you think? Because no matter how much money you make, the system that you're going to be living in is still not yours. It's still not one that best suits your spirit, man. The globalized system that best suits the children of Israel's spirit is this, and I'm going to go to it right now. The global system of rule that best suits the children of Israel is this one. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. That's the global system that we're waiting for, one where we're keeping the laws ourselves, and then we're teaching the rest of the world the laws. And through doing that, we receive honor and glory and power and servitude and respect, right? Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nation. We're going to be telling other people what to do based on the laws of Yahweh that we are going to be able to keep continually, thanks to the new covenant. Hebrews 8 and 10, Jeremiah 31 and verse 33. And shall rebuke many people. Oh, you're not supposed to be eating that, or you're not supposed to be doing that. This is the way. Here's the judgment that you're going to receive. Don't do it again. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. We're going to get rid of all this whole weapons of warfare stuff that's going on, but we're not going to completely get rid of the materials. No, we're going to take these materials and use them for something else. Melt this down, melt that down, unscrew the hinges of this, unscrew all the bolts of these tanks, melt the materials down, do whatever we need to do, grind it down, reuse it for something else. We ain't going to just throw this used to be a tank. Now it's a roof. Oh, this used to be a gun. Now it's part of a door handle or something like that. There's people that do that on the internet right now. They take a old piece of metal and they reuse it for something else. Well, that's what's going to happen with all these weapons of war. Oh, this used to be a submarine with missiles attached on it. No, we're going to drag that out of the sea, unscrew everything, undo everything, rework that back, take out the toilets out of it, take all the materials out of it, and put it to use for something else, man. It used to be this. Now it's this. Or it used to be a tank. We took all those materials and turned them into a tractor. Or it used to be a helicopter with guns attached. Now it's a plow for the field. Or it used to be part of a fighter jet. Now it's part of a machine that can drag oxygen out of the air and turn it into water or something, man. Now it's part of a self-moving lawnmower or whatever the hell kind of creations we're going to make in the kingdom of heaven, man. It's going to be something else. Into plowshares and the spears into pruning hooks. Some of these guns are going to be turned into spades, man. Oh, it used to be a gun. Now it's a spade. Oh, it used to be a 12-gauge shotgun. Now it's a hammer and chisel and a screwdriver. Now it's a screwdriver. And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. All that need for weapons of warfare, or we need to get military drills going. No, you don't. What do you need an army for? The world, and all you people out there that you got a problem with that, the world right now wouldn't accept so-called black men having their own army. They'll call it a gang before they accept that it would ever be an army. They don't accept us having an army right now. We ain't going to accept you having an army in the kingdom of heaven. You don't need no army. You don't need to learn war anymore. You don't need to do no military drills. You don't need to figure out how you would do this and how you would do that, how you would defend any this or anything like that. We're the defenders of the earth now, and we're defending it with the laws of the Heavenly Father. And if you got a problem and you think you don't want to bow down to our Heavenly Father, no rain for you. According to Zechariah, the 14th chapter, right? No rain then. Verse 5, O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Forget all of this, and I'm not nobody to try and tell nobody to not do this and to not do that, man. But you have to have your mind aimed towards that. This society is eventually going to fall. It's clear. Eventually, this whole thing that people trust and believe in is not going to be going on like how it's going on right now. Eventually, it's going to fade, man. You can see it, surely. And when it does, you want to be in a position to where you've been believing in the Lord and he's going to have mercy on you in that time. And let me get the scripture on that. I think it's Zephaniah 3 and 8. Okay, Zephaniah 2 and 3. Seek ye Yahweh, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be, right? It may be, maybe ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger. Maybe if you seek Yahweh, and that's as fair as you can get. if you seek Yahweh right now, right, to the best of your ability and try and have some level of faith towards him, man, maybe, not definitely, because we don't know if we're of the elect, maybe he's going to have mercy on you when he brings his wrath upon the earth. Maybe, man. But if you don't seek him, he's definitely not going to have any mercy on you. That's as fair as a deal you can get, man. Seek Yahweh. Believe that he's going to destroy the earth. Believe that Yahawashi is the Messiah and pray to his name, Yahawashi. But pray to Yahweh through Yahawashi. And that's why we say Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. And you might receive a chance of mercy. Not definitely, because you might not be of the elect. But if you don't seek him, you definitely wasn't of the elect. And that's why the scriptures say, give diligence to make thy calling and thy election sure. And on that, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to go, man. I just wanted to do this video on how, like, the wound of the children of Israel right now in this society is incurable. And there's not no earthly way to escape this, right? Shalom to all of the members of the elect out there. Shalom.